here in the attic here in HAMTRAMCK again tonight. Probably hear the helicopter flying over here. It sounds like a news helicopter. We got rioters, protesters out in the streets in Detroit, downtown. That's just a couple minutes from here. I was just going to start recording, and this happens actually a lot. There's one we call data control. We've been calling it data control for like 10 years. And it usually comes in the evening about, an hour or two after sunset. And it circles our town, HAMTRAMCK, and it collects data. We know it does. There's this massive circular disc on the bottom of it. I've researched it and read about how it just basically sucks up everyone's information for the day. And this has been going on for years, 10 years at least. And sometimes it's several times a day, and sometimes they're up there circling over our houses for a long time. Now, I've lived in many places in my lifetime. I've moved with my family on my own also at least 10, 12 times. I'm 45 years old now. So I have seen different places and lived different places and understand different perspectives, and I've never lived anywhere like here in my life. Never. I've lived in Detroit, and this is HAMTRAMCK, an island city inside of Detroit. And it still, this city of HAMTRAMCK is its own thing, and it is totally different. And there's a lot of abuse going all around. The government abusing people and people abusing the government. It's a horrible cycle, and the corruption that's persisted over the years is just mires it all in the mud. So yeah, we've got the riots going on here of its own sort, and a lot of them are these people who are really causing mischief downtown and not just protesting. They're breaking stuff, throwing fireworks, rocks, bricks. Someone got shot and killed Friday night. This stuff, a lot of these people involved in this are from the suburbs. They've come there. The sheriff was on the news last night. And Detroit police, I've had a lot of bad experiences with them. They've nearly killed me several times over the years, and those are other stories I can tell you about. They pride themselves on being better, and they are in a lot of ways. Like, they'll let you go. Over the years, they would let you go with pot. It was just unspoken that amongst the Detroit police, pot was something they were not going to be heavy hitting on you, most likely, as opposed to the suburbs where they'll, mess your whole life up over a joint or two. And that's still even today if they can find a way. It's military industrial, police industry here. This is an industry and a way of life that people are trying to preserve. And it's sick. The Detroit police are a little bit better. The sheriff was talking about, though, all the people arrested, they're coming from, a large number of them are coming from the suburbs, and some from here in HAMTRAMCK. We tend to think of ourselves as Detroit, but we're not. Literally, we get taxed on our own. We get taxed for the city of HAMTRAMCK. Detroit gets its own tax. Flint gets taxed. That's another thing about Michigan messed upness. You look at the cities that are most struggling in our state, like Flint, that a lot of people know about now. Detroit, HAMTRAMCK. There's several others. We are taxed. I think Benton Harbor as well. We're taxed by the city. We're like taxed 3 times. You're taxed by the federal government, the state government, and the city. Imagine that. And you get audited by the city a lot here, or you used to. The last few years, I don't know what's happened. They've gotten in trouble enough for, with all these corruption cases, and there's still more on the way against the city of Hamtramck, and some fake stuff too, fake corruption I can talk about over time. But yeah, there's just so much going on politically here that is resonant throughout the whole country and the world. And I've seen a lot of the Trumpers here. They're very intense, and there's a lot of white supremacist Trumpers, a lot of immigrant white nationalists. There's various backgrounds, and the ones that have been here for a couple generations, or maybe migrated up from the south. There's a whole wide range of white nationalism going on here. And then we have intense Muslim guard, and the Muslims, I've had a hard time with them too sometimes. That everyone is racist. It's a human problem. It's not just one, and it's this big wheel that everyone keeps kicking and keeps it going. So anyway, I'm at 6.5 minutes now. I look down there again, and I'm going to play this little bit of song here, Hank Williams. I'm so lonesome I could cry. Never seen